I was talking fantasy football with my friends the other day.
Josh? Whoa. Look who's back. Where the hell have you been? At home, sitting in your asses?
Go away now, Josh.
Actually, my name is Alan.
The dorky white kid with a Cub Scout bandana on his head.
Bravo.
Echo.
November.
Tango. On.
Football.
Will you stop doing that? I think it's you. It's you.
Probably is.
All right. Well, welcome back. Alan and Josh here again with Bent on Fantasy Football. We're just arguing about the little mishap that we've had the last 2 weeks, thanks to Josh, because of the
Toe tapping, probably.
yeah,
So.
whatever it is. I don't know. Something's tapping. I don't know. But anyway, so we are back with another week. We've got some cool stuff that we want to talk about, a little bit new material that we're going to work with. So
Yeah.
let's jump right into what we do every single week.
Okay.
Now, we don't know who goes first this week. You know, if you guys want to put it in the comments, kind of keep us up to date on that, because we really don't know. So
I'll go first.
Josh,
All right.
he's going to go first.
So my beer is +9.
+9.
Because 4 weeks ago, if you guys remember, I was 12th place.
12th place. Okay.
Now I'm 3rd place. So I moved up 9 spots.
Nice. Well, we're not going to talk about how far I moved
One of those games included me beating Alan. So
and which direction that was that I moved.
you did move up, though.
I did.
You were 10th, now you're 7th. So
Let me tell you about my other league. My other league, I'm 5-1.
We're not even talking about the other league here.
All right. So, +9. Congratulations, Josh. I'm sure it'll go well for you the rest of the season. But he's got an ace in the hole. He's got in on a good trade this week, which
I did.
But anyway, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about my label.
And what does your label say, Alan?
My label says, now this is in Josh's handwriting. I made him write this just so he could see exactly what I was writing, because this is an ongoing joke between Josh and I. So I want to welcome you guys this week to the launch of the new Whirly Labels product. Now, you're probably wondering what that is. You'll find out soon.
Those look pretty nice, actually. Professionally done, and
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about this before. We have a long-term contract with Whirly Labels. If we ever decide we want to get out of it at any time, we can. And
we probably shouldn't, because it doesn't cost us anything, so we're going to have to pay somebody else.
Right. So, just pure economics tells us that we're probably going to stick with Whirly Labels for the time being. All right, so let's pop these bad boys open. Let's do what we do.
All right. Sit back
Sit back, pop open a cold one.
and
Most of
enjoy
all,
the show.
enjoy the show. That hits the spot.
Yeah, that +9 spots really tastes good. So
Yeah, you'll love the taste of the Whirly Label product too. That came
I
out.
do.
You will, absolutely. All right, let's jump into one. Well, before we get started, let's talk about. We want you guys to share our show. Obviously, we want like, subscribe, and share. Josh, where are we at as far as subscribers? Do you know right offhand?
We're at 31 right now.
Oh, okay, you did look at it. Okay,
Yes, I did.
Perfect. I thought I was going to catch him. But yeah, we're at 31 subscribers. How many do we need, Josh?
969.
Yep, so we're almost there still.
Yes.
But we are growing. I mean, we've grown exponentially. Very small exponentially. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
we have grown. So
And we actually, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we had a new subscriber last week send us a message.
yes.
And she said, I'm not really into football, but I love watching you guys do what you do. So obviously she likes us making a fool out of ourselves. So
Yeah, so thank you. We appreciate you tuning in. So thank you for liking the show. We do want to jump into trade rumors, though, right?
yeah, I think she said something about the guy with the more hair was pretty hot, though. So
Yeah, that was not even close. Anyway,
yeah, you're probably right.
rumors. Speaking of rumors, rumors get started by the jealous people.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about trade rumors in the NFL a little bit today. So, Josh, you want to get us started?
Yeah, there's a few guys we want to focus on, both running backs. Cam Akers right now, there's a lot of mumblings out of that Rams camp that Cam Akers is on the trading block.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, where they're at right now, they don't necessarily need him, and they're obviously they don't because they're playing without him.
Yeah, I mean, all they need is Cup. I mean, Henderson, neither one of those guys in the last 3 or 4 weeks, Henderson or Akers, has really been a world beater. So
Yeah, they've got to have somebody back there though. So of the two, I think Henderson's a better play anyway. So where do you think a good landing spot for Cam Akers would be?
You know, for Cam Akers, it's tough. I could see places like Detroit. I know they got DeAndre Swift, but I think Jamal Williams has really cemented himself as that number one running back. I know a lot of people will argue against that, but I see Detroit. There's not a whole lot of other situations. Maybe Washington. You know, I know Brian Robinson is healthy, but other than that, I don't really see many places. Maybe Denver, because we all know what's going on in that running back situation.
Yeah, that's a tough one too, and that's the other one we're going to talk about too in just
Yeah.
a minute. But we talked about some of the teams that could probably benefit from having another running back, even if they do have a primetime bell cow that they use right now.
New England.
The New England, for example, yeah. So there's a lot of teams that are going to the running back by committee thing, which kind of sucks for fantasy. But you know what? It's part of the game. You got to adapt, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
So yeah, Miami comes to mind for me,
Especially with Mostert's injury concerns.
Yeah,
I mean, he could go down anytime.
and honestly, I'm really not big on Mostert at all. He's very spotty. This year he's been pretty good, consistently pretty good, but over his career he's been pretty spotty, and I don't like that in a running back. It's too much risk there for me. So,
And I'm higher on Mostert than Allen has been the last 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
So I do want to interject with one thing. Did you see what Jono posted in our group chat, that
didn't.
video of Matt Stafford?
I didn't.
There's a Facebook post of Matt Stafford. It's a video that I think one of the film crew took for the Los Angeles Rams. Shows him standing on his own goal line and throwing the ball. Granted, it was a super high arc, and a receiver catching it at the opposite goal line. So he threw the ball 100 yards.
Yeah, there's probably no CGI involved in that.
No, it's. I believe it. I mean, granted.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
But thanks to Jono for sharing that.
And I don't doubt it at all.
I don't doubt it at all, honestly. So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, moving on.
All right, so let's talk about the situation in Denver. We talked about, we alluded to it earlier. So let's talk about Melvin Gordon.
Yep.
Right now, the running back situation in Denver is not great. Okay.
Especially with Javonte going down.
Right. So that puts Boone and Melvin Gordon on the field. Now, if you look at last week, Melvin Gordon was apparently benched, quote unquote. My personal opinion is this. I think somebody in either management or upper management or ownership or whatever does not like Melvin Gordon, and it may be a few people. They have not really given him the opportunity. They had Philip Lindsay there before with sharing carries with him. Now they've got Williams out there sharing carries with
Not
him.
anymore.
Well, in theory.
But yes, I know
Now
what
they
you
got
mean.
Boone sharing carries. Boy, that is hard to say. Sharing carries with him now.
Say that 4 times
I
fast.
can't say it one time slow.
That's right.
So anyway, they don't lean on him. They're not going to depend on him. They did announce that he is going to be the starter this week. He's out of my lineup. I'll tell you that right now. He will not be starting for me. So I had to use him last week because of a bye situation, but. I'm pretty much writing him off at least for right now until I see something that proves it.
It's hard to trust anybody in that Denver offense.
So again, a good landing place for Gordon. Where do you think that would be?
See, Gordon's tough. I mean, I thought it might have been the Bears. Okay. And Montgomery could be on the trading block too, like we talked about. He's probably not, but there's rumors.
And it's a possibility. We talked about that a little
It
bit.
is a possibility.
With Gordon, anyway.
I could see him going to a place like Minnesota as a backup to Cook.
I can see that.
I mean, he's a 2 to Cook's 1. I mean, he's better than Madison, in my opinion. A lot of teams in the AFC would probably want him.
Yeah, and the only thing that I see though is Gordon's going to be 30 this year. And that's at the point where he might be 30 now. Or he's going to be.
That's
30
almost a
something.
running back nursing home territory right there.
It's where the point where running backs really start diminishing in there. Now, we haven't really seen that, but we haven't seen a lot of carries from him either. So, it's kind of hard to say. But at this point, as a, like you said, as a backup to Delvin Cook would be a good place for him. As another, because I mean, he'll be great off the bench. He'll be fresh. He'll be ready to go. He'll be great off the bench.
I could see him going back to the Chargers as a backup.
I could see that too.
I mean, that offense really hasn't changed much, and he thrived in that offense. He was a top 5 running back for years.
Yep. So, possible spot for him too. But David Montgomery, you mentioned him before. We talked a little bit about this before the show. My thought is David Montgomery could possibly be on the trading block also. Why? Because they've got a backup for him, right? They've got Khalil Herbert as a backup for him. Now,
you didn't call him Khalil Mack that time.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. But anyway, the Bears have been notorious for having a bell cow. Okay, one guy that just musters the whole load in the backfield, right? I don't see that changing as long as Virginia McCaskey's alive. I don't think that'll ever change. And not that she has a direct say so. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. So.
Does she even know who David Montgomery is?
Yeah, I'm not sure she knows who anybody is
Yeah.
at this point. But that's not the point. So, I can see Montgomery being trade bait. Like I was telling Josh, the Bears are not in a rebuilding state yet. They are still in a teardown state, and I think Montgomery could be a part of that. The casualties of that.
I agree.
So, I don't know. It's a possibility. I've heard things, and you hear rumors, and rumors are like 70% of all statistics are 80% wrong or something, So it's kind of the same.
Especially in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know what the hell's going to happen in the NFL.
Right.
All right, let's jump on to our start and sits.
Our start and sits. Okay. Now, last week, Allen took a commanding lead. He was 10-6, and not a commanding lead, I guess. I was 9-7, but Allen went 8-0 the last 2 weeks. Now, this week, he went 1-3, so a couple risky picks there.
Yeah.
I went 2-2, so I'm pretty consistent when it comes to 50-50. But we're both,
and you're consistently consistent too.
I know we're both 11-9 right now. So I went 2-2. Allen went 1-3. Jimmy G didn't really do much. 15 points. Lockett and Everett is where it really hurt you.
Yeah.
Lockett 3 points. Everett 5 points. Brian Robinson, I gave him the win on that, 12 points.
Not horrible.
Not horrible, but producer judgment here. I gave him the win on that. But Jimmy G at 15, I definitely not. So
yeah. So how'd you do?
I went 2-2. So I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers at 13 points at home against a New York Jets team that nobody saw this coming.
No.
I'm going to take the win on that. Saquon at 16. That's I'll take the loss. Pittman, I'll take the loss at 25, and then Ertz just under 10. I'll take the win on that. So 2-2.
All right.
Michael Pittman, and we did say last week, both of us did, even though we picked Michael Pittman, or I picked Michael Pittman as my sit, we both wanted him to have a big game because we are high on him. We want that offense to get in the groove and start doing what they were supposed to do all season long.
And I'll tell you what, if that offense does kick in and they start really producing, that's going to be a good team. That's going to be a team to beat.
Oh, absolutely it is.
They've got a good defense, and if they put that together, look out.
Yeah. So Allen went first last week with starts. I'm going to go first this week with starts. Now, I got a few controversial ones. Starting with quarterback, I like Jacoby Brissett this week against Baltimore. Normally, any other year, I'd be dumb to say that. I'd be an idiot to say that. Baltimore's defense has really sucked as of late. I mean, that's putting it kindly.
All right.
They've really struggled. Brissett is the only option behind Chubb. Baltimore's run defense is better than the pass defense. So I think Chubb and Hunt are going to have a rough day. I like Brissett going to Njoku. I know Alan doesn't like that. And Amari Cooper, he could have a big game. I mean, that game's going to be a lot closer than I think a lot of people give him credit for.
All right,
So
when we get into my picks, you'll hear a little bit more about this, but I don't agree with that.
okay.
I don't. I know the Ravens haven't been a great offense or defense.
defense,
excuse me.
yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. But they are a good defense.
They're a good
They're
defense,
not playing
but
up
they're
to
not.
they're not playing up to their potential. I think this week. And I don't want to get into too much detail because it's part of what I was going to talk about later. The hell with it. Let's talk about this. So, who is their number one receiver? Who's Cleveland's number one receiver?
Amari Cooper.
Okay, where does Amari Cooper rank in wide receivers? Ballpark it.
25 to 30.
Okay, close enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that being said, they have two players to key on. Am I right?
Njoku
In the passing game, they have Njoku
Okay.
and they have Cooper. Okay, so do you really think that even the way the Baltimore defense has been playing, do you think that two players that they're going to key on is going to be hard for them? Do you think you think they're not going to be able to shut down two
We
players?
argue
Let me
like
ask you
this
that.
every week and
We
watch
do.
Cleveland beat them like 42 to nothing, and Brissett goes off for 500 yards.
Yeah, that'll happen. So,
Goff went for 40 a couple weeks ago.
yeah, it was a Goff week for him.
Yes. Oh my God.
I got the dad jokes, don't
Yeah, I know. I
All
know.
right, so, all right, I don't agree with you, but I respect your ability to give us terrible.
Okay,
answers
so
like that.
Brissett's my start at quarterback.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not confident in it, not as confident now that I hear your feedback. But running back, I really like ETN. I mean, he's really coming around the last couple weeks. That was a timeshare. That was a heavy James Robinson percentage-wise timeshare, and now it's leaning towards ETN. I think they're really trying to work him in as that number one running back.
Yeah, I do too, and I do like that as a start this week. Good matchup as well.
They're playing the Giants now. We talked about this before the show.
For the running game, it's a good matchup.
Yes, for the running game it is. I think both of those teams, Giants and Jacksonville, are a lot better than people think they are this year.
And I'll say this: my boy, the Rockford native, James Robinson.
James Robinson.
If you're watching, James,
He's not.
and I know you're watching,
Okay, you're a math guy. Okay, there's 31 subscribers and there's 8 billion people in the world. What are the chances that he is actually watching?
pretty good. Okay,
Slim to none.
that's what I said. Pretty good. So, I want you to know you got our support. We love you out of Rockford, Illinois. We love you, James. So, but that being said, I think how do you say his name?
ETN.
ETN. Okay, I thought it was ETN. ETN.
You could. Well, I don't know
Is-
exactly how it's said. I mean, ask him. Next time he calls into the show, ask
Okay,
him.
I'll do that. I'll do
All
that.
right, do it.
But anyway, I think he will end up being the starting running back there full time. I think James Robinson is a beautiful complement to that. Again, another team going to the running back by committee.
Do you think James Robinson's beautiful?
Stop with yourself.
You heard it. You heard it from the horse's mouth.
I said a beautiful compliment to that. My gosh. Anyway, so I think you're right. And again, good matchup this week. I think you're right. But no love lost for our hometown guy.
Oh no, absolutely not. I want him to succeed, but I just don't think. I think that's going to be ETN's spot, his job for,
The
going
foreseeable
forward.
future.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future.
I agree.
Now this guy I was high on last year. We both were. This team is in shambles offensively, and New York Jets are playing really, really well defensively. Jerry Jeudy, he seems to be the only one really putting up numbers in that offense.
He is.
Even Russ isn't. So I like Jerry Jeudy against the Jets. It may not hit, but he's the only reliable receiver right now in that offense.
I think that's a good pick. I like that.
Do you?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So tight end. This one I'm a little torn on because if Tua comes back, Gesicki, I think, is going to be a great, great tool. You know,
Did you say Gesicki's a tool? Is that what you just said?
great, great tool for Tua.
Oh.
Okay.
Poor Tua.
Now, I'm prefacing this, or prefacing, if you were reading it on a closed caption. If Tua comes back, I think he's going to be under a lot of pressure. He's not 100% healthy. He's going to be looking for that underneath receiver. Gesicki is that. He's not going to go deep to Hill. He's not going to go deep to Waddle. So I like Gesicki. Now, that being said, we'll get into Gubb here in a couple minutes. So.
Yeah, we will.
So for that reason only, if Tua comes back, I like Gesicki.
Okay.
All right.
Fair
So
enough.
there are my starts. I think I'm going to go 4-0. So let's see your sits.
All right. So my sits this week, we talked about this briefly. It's going to be a Goff week for Goff again.
Oh, God.
Yeah. He's playing Dallas. All right. So he's my sit this week for a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's playing Dallas, like I said, number 6 defense against yards per game
Yeah.
in the NFL. They've only given up 4 touchdowns to quarterbacks this year. So
Isn't that something though? I mean,
It is.
especially with who they play against.
yeah, I know it's one of the weakest divisions in football, arguably.
I'm going to stop you.
Arguably.
We said that for the last 3-4 years, and it has been. But this year, they may be one of the strongest, with exception of Washington.
I don't think so.
Philly, New York, and Dallas.
Philly and New York, no Dallas.
Okay. All
No
right.
Dallas. Well, that's a whole nother show.
Whole nother show. We'll talk about
conversation.
that later.
But yeah, no, I don't. Dallas is on the edge for me. But anyway.
Okay.
But anyway, defensively wise, I like them though. Like I said, they haven't given up many touchdowns to quarterbacks this year, only 4. I think Goff. Here's my opinion of Goff. Okay, Goff is great, absolutely fantastic, until he wakes up one morning and goes, "Hey, you know what? I'm Jared Goff," and then it all falls apart at that point. Then all the stuff.
Or he wakes up and says, "I'm playing for the Lions."
yeah, either or.
Yeah,
Or
either or.
What probably happens, he goes in front of the mirror and says, "You know what? I'm Jared Goff and I play for the Lions." Then he slaps himself really hard.
Yes.
So anyway, no offense, Jared, if you're watching, and I know he's watching.
He is not.
All right.
Can you imagine if Jared Goff and ETN, or who was the other guy?
No, Robinson.
Oh, James Robinson. They're both watching. They're sitting there on the couch. They're like, "What the hell? Why would they think we're not watching?" They probably have a bowl of popcorn and
Yeah.
some beers and.
Probably. They probably have worthy labels on their cans too.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
We're gonna
Anyway.
get some hate mail from Jared Goff and James Robinson.
Here we are. A cease and desist letter.
Yes.
Don't mention us on your show anymore. All right, so let's move on to my running back. My running back is Raheem Mostert.
Okay.
Philly's defense, tough defense against the run. Number 5 in yards per game. So touchdowns, same as the other one. 4 touchdowns given up to running backs this season. Very tough matchup for him. I don't see Raheem Mostert getting past that. Period.
I agree with you. I think they're playing Pittsburgh though, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. I didn't. Who did I say?
Miami's playing Pittsburgh. You said Philly.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Pittsburgh.
But yeah, I don't see. As long as Tua's not 100%, that whole offense is going to struggle.
It will. Man. And you know what's got me bent, but not got me bent?
What?
So it's not my what's got me bent this week, but since we're talking about this, every time the Kansas City Chiefs game is on, they always refer to Tyreek Hill and talk about how he's no longer with the Chiefs. So that's got me bent, but not what's got me bent this week. So moving on. Sorry, I digress a little. But no, I just don't like the matchup. I don't think it's going to be a good week for Mostert. Period.
And I have him on my team, and I love him, but I'm benching him, so I agree with you.
Okay. Next one really hurts me.
I know, because
This
we
one
both
hurts
love
me.
this guy.
Yeah, I love this guy this season. The matchup this week is very, very tough.
If you love him so much, why don't you marry him?
But anyway, the matchup is really tough this week. There we go, making asses out of ourselves. Again.
I know.
He's playing the Giants.
Yes.
We talked about the Giants against the pass. They're tough. They're very, very tough. 172 yards per game given up this year. 5 touchdowns to tight ends over 6 weeks. Not tight ends.
Wide
to
receivers.
Wide receivers over the first 6 weeks. So not great, but you know what? Tough matchup, and I think it's going to be a very, very long day for the entire Jacksonville offense.
I think so too. That game might surprise us though. That could be a 6-3 game, or it could be a 31-28 game.
Yeah, it could go either way, right? I agree. But I think that Giants team, I think they're for real. We talked about this before the show. I think the Giants team is for real.
I do too, and I think Jacksonville's for real.
Mm-hmm. So the Giants kind of hinge on 2 things, right? They hinge on Saquon Barkley and the defense. That's the 2 things that keep them going. Either one of those 2 things, I guess that's a new house.
I mean,
of
if
cards.
Saquon goes down, then yeah, it's your Dallas House of Cards basically.
Yeah.
But I think if Saquon goes down,
that whole side
whole
falls
team.
apart. Yeah, that whole at least that whole
all
side
bets
of the
are
ball.
off. So
yeah, exactly. All right, so Christian Kirk, I love you, man, but you know what? Not this week.
and he is watching, by the way. So
he is.
Yeah, he texted me earlier. He is watching.
Okay.
So
Stop being a Jeremy.
yeah.
Anyway, now my tight end. I know you hate this, and I am sorry. I will apologize in advance for David Njoku. We talked about the Ravens defense. I think they're better than that. Who do they have? Oh, we already had this conversation.
Amari
didn't
Cooper.
We? Yeah, okay. We had this conversation. That's right. I forgot. No, it's David Njoku is my sit for this week. I have no statistics to back it up. I just got a feeling on this one, to be honest.
And I don't hate that pick. I'm just more optimistic because I have him on my team and I need a win this week. So yeah. But
I hope I'm wrong. I'm just.
God, I hope you are too. Well, we are almost 50% of the time, so we're wrong 45% of the time. So
hey,
I hope that's one of them.
Hey, that means we're winning.
Yes, winning.
All right, so that's my sits this week. I'm done.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to what's got us bent.
All right, I'll go first,
Yes.
and then Alan has a story. So it's a recurring theme with me until Dolphins get their crap together and the NFL gets their crap together. Tua, last report I saw, Tua was starting this week, and I completely disagree with that. I mean, I think you're putting his future at risk, his health at risk. There should be no reason he should ever play again this year.
You know, it kills me. It kills me. A team's under investigation, yet they're going to throw this guy back on the field. And what kills me even more is the guy wants to go back on the field. I'm telling you, if my hands were in front of my face and they looked like his hands did, and I could see that, I'm done for the season. At least for the season. I'd have to rethink my entire life choices at that point.
Yeah, and I was telling Alan last week. I mean, this was before even week 6 that the doctor that discovered CTE, Will Smith, played him in the movie Concussion.
Mm-hmm.
He was on national television and he said he could be paralyzed if he takes one more hit, no matter, if it's a major hit or even a mediocre hit. He could be paralyzed for the rest of his life. Yeah. And they don't care because they're still going to put him out there. And
if he's medically cleared, he shouldn't be medically cleared, period.
No, absolutely not.
I don't think so. That's the thing about football that just kills me. I love football. I always have, but that's the thing that kills me.
And that's got me bent until further notice, because if they trot him out there, then I'm going to be bent about it again. So,
all right. So my gub this week.
Okay.
Not football related this time. Something happened to me today that kind of triggered some thoughts in my mind. I had something else I was going to be bent about, but this kind of got me. So what I'm bent about is how people treat each other these days. And look, I know there's a ton of division in this country. I know there's a lot of things, and I'm not going to get on a soapbox and talk about all that. But I was at a gas station filling up the air in my tire today, and as I was down doing that, there was another truck that was backing up towards me, and the guy got out and he looked and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." He goes, "I didn't see anybody there. I thought it was just a parked car. I was going to air my tire up." I was like, no problem. I'll be out of your way in just a second. He's like, you know what? Not a problem. Don't worry about it. Take your time. He goes, have a great day. And I was like, well, thank you. You too. And it got me to thinking, how often do people actually say have a great day and actually mean that? Probably not very often. Most people don't even look at you when they say that. So I guess what I'm getting around to here is I'm just saying, you know, when you see somebody, go a little bit extra just to make them have a better day. Even if it's not a great day, make them have a better day. It's just something that we need to do. With all the division in this country and all the things that are out there to separate us, we need to just take one extra step and just say, you know what, I'm going to be a nice person and tell this person to have a good day, or, you know, open the door for them, whatever it may be. Just do something nice for somebody and maybe they'll pay it forward.
Yeah. And
That's
I'm
all.
sorry, Alan, that I haven't told you to have a great day every time we talk.
You know what? It's implied with you, Josh.
Yes.
It's just implied.
Okay.
I get that feeling.
So I'm going to go out this week and I'm going to hug everybody I see in public.
You do that. You
Yes.
do that. And see how many times you get arrested.
Yes. And I may not be back on the show next week, but
maybe under lock and key, but that's all right. Let's move on to Cup Watch. I don't
Let's
want to
move
talk
on to
about
Cup Watch,
your
okay.
prison record and what happened. Cup
we
Watch.
wouldn't really call it a record. I mean, it was pretty competitive,
I'm
but
gonna
anyway.
I'm going to stop you right
But
there.
anyway,
Let's move on
Cup
to
Watch. So we're on Cup Watch. The first couple games, he was on pace for historic numbers. Now, he has had a couple down weeks. We don't know what's really going on with that offense. You know, they lost 2 games. They didn't put up a touchdown this past game. You know, they only put up 1 2 games ago, and it was to Cup.
Mhm.
But we don't know what's going on with that offense. But still, 8 targets, 7 receptions, 80 yards, no touchdowns. That's okay. But, I mean, that's 11.5 points on a half-point PPR.
That's just. I mean, the guy puts up monstrous numbers. You see something like this, and you go, "Oh, that's terrible." But you look at the numbers. That's 11 points. It's not horrible for a wide receiver.
I don't remember the last time my wide receiver 1 had a horrible game and put up 11.5 points. I'll
Right.
take it,
Right,
you know?
right. Even with Cup, I mean, you know, you can't expect him to do everything every week, even though they try a lot. You can't expect that.
He did have a rushing touchdown, remember, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
so
so yeah, you'll get production out of him. Just maybe not as much as you know every week as you think, but still could still set records. Could still do a lot of things, especially with the targets, man. I mean, he's run through the numbers for this.
All right, so as of this year, total 6 weeks, 72 targets. That's 12 a game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, receptions 56, almost 9.5 per game. 607 yards. That's over 100 yards a game and 5 touchdowns.
That's crazy.
I mean, he's averaging almost a touchdown per game. So if we take that over the course of a 17-game season, 204 targets.
wow.
I mean, I don't remember the last time I drafted a guy who had 204 targets.
That's a lot.
159 receptions. That's just unheard of. 1720 yards. That's a wide receiver 1 any day of the week.
Any
you know,
format. Any
yeah.
format. Yep.
That's probably top 1, top 2 receiver every year.
Yep.
15 touchdowns. Now he has come down a little bit, but
Well,
I mean,
when you factor in a 0, you know, it kind of hurts the
yeah.
whole
But if
average.
you can say, man, my wide receiver 1 is only going to get 15 touchdowns this year.
You poor thing.
Yeah, poor thing. I will take him
Yeah.
top 3 every year if
I
that's going to
think
be the
that,
case.
yeah.
So
Yeah, so still on pace to do some amazing things, but slowed down a little bit this week. But you know, Cup owners don't be discouraged. Don't, you know? Obviously, everybody's gonna have an off week. He'll bounce back. He's a stud wide receiver. That's all there is. to
yeah,
it.
absolutely.
All right. So the best part of the show
Yes.
is coming up right now. So tune in. Make sure you've got your beer. Make sure you've got your popcorn. Whatever you have. Make
Get
sure
your
you're
popcorn ready. Who said that? Was it Moss or was it Freddie Mitchell?
I don't know, but I do remember Terrell Owens with the popcorn.
Oh, that was him. Terrell Owens. Yeah, get your
Okay.
popcorn ready.
Yeah. All right. So it's time for WUMF. What is WUMF?
Wheel of Misfortune. That's
Wheel of-
MISS.
Yes.
Fortune.
Wheel of Misfortune. Which, you know, speaking of misfortune, she is actually going to be on the show.
We really wanted her to be on this week, but she is
Yeah.
busy out shopping for her Halloween costume.
Yep. She's
So-
got a Halloween costume because our next show is going to be the last one before Halloween.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. let's get Womp out. Let's do
All right.
this.
So I think you went first last week,
I
didn't you?
did. I did.
And we made some changes to WOMP in case you guys haven't noticed.
Yeah. Looks pretty bare.
We don't know what games we're gonna pick. We don't know which ones are the bad games in purple like we used to.
Yeah.
Until we actually pull the Velcro off and we see what it is. So let's see.
Josh is womping.
I'm womping. This is orange. So, oh god, Detroit versus Dallas.
So the Dallas is got -7, so they got a 7-point favorite. 49 is the over under on it.
I like Detroit plus the 7, and I like the under. I don't usually do unders, but I don't trust either one of those offenses right now.
Prescott's supposed to be back in the lineup too.
I don't trust either one of those offenses right now.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So it's time for me to womp.
womp it.
All right. So
We can't do the same one.
I'll womp it again.
If you land on the same one, I'm gonna be mad.
Hey, if I do, it's not my own fault. All right. So this game is Tampa Bay versus Carolina.
Oh,
Tampa
that's
Bay-
just as bad.
Tampa Bay is favored by 11, and the over/under on that is 39.5.
Hold on though. Tampa Bay is favored by 11 on the road.
Right. Yeah. So, given that Carolina does have the home field advantage, I'm going to pick Tampa Bay with that 11. I think they're going to not only.
You think they're gonna blow them out?
Oh, I think they're going to blow them out.
Okay.
Crazy. I do.
You realize that's basically if Tampa Bay was at home, that's a 17-point line
Mhm.
because you
Yep.
got the 3. Okay.
Yep. I'm taking Tampa Bay.
And the over under, what is it? 39.5.
39.
Are you serious?
Yes. So I'm going to go with the over on that. It's kind of a.
I would do that every day of the week.
Yes,
Holy crap!
yeah. All right, womp it, Josh.
Womp it.
Trying to get my-
Wait a minute. They're both next to each other. So we took
You
two.
didn't notice that? I think this wheel's rigged.
All right, this wheel is probably rigged.
The
So,
pink one. Oh.
oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, whatever. Green Bay versus Washington. Green Bay favored by 4.5, and the over/under is 41. Love it.
Green Bay is on the road, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They are playing in Washington.
I'm going to take the Green Bay minus 4.5 because while Green Bay is struggling, so is Washington.
Yeah.
And what's the over under 41?
I don't know, man. Washington looked pretty good last week.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. Did you see that? They played the Bears. Everybody looks good when
Oh
they play
yeah.
the Bears.
Well, duh. They still didn't score a touchdown though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
All right, I'm going to take the over 41. So
Over. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's just too low to pass up, regardless of which teams are playing.
All right. I'll go with that. That's fine. See, I had to get out of that little area we were.
Yes.
I got the line green.
And I did just receive a text. Miss Fortune is looking forward to being here next week.
Awesome.
So
So she's confirmed it?
she confirmed it.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. All right. So I got Seattle versus the Chargers.
ooh,
Chargers by 5.5. And 50 is the over/under.
ooh, that's high.
It is high. Man.
But Chargers are Seattle put up 48 against Detroit
Yeah, I know.
and barely won.
I know that's where, and the Chargers defense is pretty porous. Ah, man. Let's start with the over/under. I'll say over on the 50.
Over 50. Okay.
Yeah, it's high, but I just don't see defenses being a key this week in this game this week. All right, so oh man,
I really like Gino.
I gotta take the Chargers in that 5.
Minus 5. Okay.
Minus 5.5. Yeah, I gotta take it because you know why? Because I can't really decide, and the people in the desert probably are better at guessing at that than I am. I'm thinking.
Well, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to recap last week.
No, we didn't. Go.
No, Alan. Oh yeah, Alan went 2-2. I went 2-2. So consistency.
Yeah.
I'm 6-6. I've gone 2-2 every single week.
Yeah.
Alan is 7-4. One game was a no contest. It was a push on the spread, but Alan, you're killing it, brother.
All right.
All right.
See, I should be putting money on this stuff, man. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not?
Well, we could take that big salary we get Or wait a minute, we don't get any, so
Oh,
that's why we don't know what money is.
that's it. Crush me like a paper cup at a Cubs game. Way to go. All right. All right. So we're good this week then on this, right?
Well, I'm good. I don't know about your picks, but
Oh, great. Sorry, my bad. I meant great. All right. So let's move on.
okay.
We've womped. We've talked about Miss Fortune coming next week, and I'm so glad she actually confirmed with us.
She said she had the perfect Halloween costume picked out. She just said so.
We've been, yeah, that's awesome. So we've been trying to get this set up for quite a while now, for several weeks, ever since we got the Womp wheel, and we talked to Miss Fortune.
Yeah.
You want to put this back over there.
Don't tell me what to do.
So we're excited about this. It's going to be a great week next week. Cool. One thing I do again want to mention to you guys: like, subscribe, and share. Please do this. Please do this. Please do this. I ask you this just because not only we want to grow the show, but we want to have some fun. We want you guys, contacting us, telling us some stuff. Give us some comments down below. And share. Somebody that likes fantasy football, and call them up and say, "Hey, look, man, I got this podcast that I watched."
Or like our last
Two
subscriber,
idiots.
even somebody that doesn't like fantasy
Yeah,
football. You
yeah.
know, they may like to watch it like our last subscriber did.
Yeah, we are kind of entertaining, at least to ourselves, anyway. We love ourselves, don't we, Josh?
We do.
Yes. All right, Josh Allen, best player ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, please do like and subscribe and share.
Did you say
and-
doo doo?
I
Please
did-
doo doo and like
No, I
us.
said do. So
Oh,
do
okay.
twice. But definitely do that. So anyway, we're gonna get out of here this week. But we, as always, if anybody doesn't like the show, just get bent.
On fantasy football.